Hey, it's back to Stormy or Demon Slides. It's me, Spikers Mother here. Going to do a video in this video. I am going to be doing four Elden Ring bosses as dragons. In this video, I used the following: Margit the Fell Omen, Godric the Grafted, which is by far my favorite dragon design, and the Ratagon Wolf. And also, the Queen of the Full Moon, I forgot her name. But without further ado, let's roll intro, let's get into this video, and let's go. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. Oh, boy. Hey, caramba. This last creature was by far one of the most pain in the arse things I've ever had to deal with. And being drunk doesn't help. Man, what was that game my friend was telling me about earlier? What was it called about? What was it? Oh boy. Let's see. Okay, messages. Multi-directional mail. Overseer injuries. Oh, here we are. Oh, wait. Yeah, right here. Of course, it comes from Colonel Stryker, who has a lot of downtime between making mechs. Dude's filthy rich. Let's see. Okay, according to this, he told me about a game called, Elden Ring. That's what it was. Told me I couldn't play it because I'm not even from his dimension. Well, he said, don't you have any, in the audio file, he said, don't you have any, dragons like this in your world? I told him that, from what I know, and from what I found, not really. Trust me though, if I do, I'll just send you an audio log over them. But boy, oh boy, have I opened a whole can of worms. I literally just started traveling around my world more. I've been staying in one main continent this entire time. I found another continent that is actually full of people that have some relatively interesting abilities. Some where they correlating to the Elden Ring game he told me about. He told me he played it and it took him forever to complete. He told me about the one boss that kept killing him over and over again, known as the, what was the creature called? Oh, Margit the, Fell Omen. He told me he had to actually fight the guy twice in the game. From what I can tell, though, you don't have to. Well, I believe. But anyways, this guy suffers from some type of disease that just causes him to grow horns all over his body. But it could also summon little daggers to throw at you, and a hammer. Now, on this other continent, it was actually relatively small compared to the other ones, but had a large amount of terrain that was relatively interesting. In a castle, actually, I found, in some areas surrounding it, I found some dragons. This one being how do you say, one dragon that, let's just say was a pain. The many-horned Fell Omen Drake. I easily kill this thing in one hit, but it was relatively interesting because when I went out, I found multiple, like little copies of it, but weaker. When I say weaker, I mean a whole lot weaker. After that, I later encountered some really, really weird species of dragons. I actually found these to be a nuisance, and actually found a relative of them in my Beast Chronicle logs from a few months back. Don't know it's the grafted drakes, but well, these are no the grafted just grafted ones. Really, it's not really a race of dragons, but some people mistake them for a race of grafted dragons. We got a lot of Frankensteiners dragons in this universe. Though some of those dragons being known as the Frankensteiners. The Frankensteiners being a really weird and monstrous race of dragons created by a madman who has some powers resembling that of an overseer, but I can't really find that guy, to be honest. Might go looking for him later this year. Anyways, this one had... Now, the dragon I had to deal with after just one hit KOing the mini-horned fellow Omen Drake, or most people refer to him as the fellow Omen Drake. I had to deal with the grafted Ratagon. Well, later found a tablet inscribed with a bunch of creatures, and this one I just thought was known as the accursed grafted Ratagon. Let's just say that this dragon was born very frail, and it literally went around as a youngling and scavenged around for creatures that were already dead or weaker than it. Like, I'm talking a average human could walk up to this guy and one-hit KO its head off. It found a few dead dragons, one actually being the remains of a somehow dead demonic black dragon. From what I could find on this one, it was actually a relatively young one. And let's just say, I hope the thing had a peaceful death, because the next creature I found, because a few tablets were missing, I later found them to be an ancient language that only overseers could understand, thanks to my dad telling me. For the record, I told him about some tablets I showed him. He said, "How did you find these? I never told anyone about them, and the person I gave these tablets to, I only told where to find them." I asked him if he knew who wrote them. He said, yeah, it was an old friend. Someone who constantly, well, it's more like a same soul of sorts of person just going through this one journey over and over again. It was a really, really weird experience dealing with him. But let's just say that he should be better off now, because he could never really die. He could increase his strength and all that, but with something called runes. I found a few of these and found them to actually worth quite a bit. But I also found whenever you sleep there, every single person you've killed or monster you've slain, they've come back. So, yeah, giant pains in the butt. And no one really forgives you if I accidentally hit them. But anyways, a dragon I found later on, well, actually a drake, was one of two that lived in a castle. Now, most people will revert. Now, this one had some direwolf brethren with a few draconic traits about them. But this one was an actual dragon version of it, known as the Red Wolf Ratagon Drake, or the Red Wolf Ratagon. The Wolf Ratagon was a very, very fast and very agile creature for its size. It stands about 2 to 5 feet above me, and it could summon a blade and withhold it in its mouth. It constantly came at me in direct target and attacks, but it made up for in speed and strength. It was weaker in actual durability and health. I literally just managed to get a few solid hits off those power outputs, and pretty much just evaporated the thing on the 5th hit. I found some of these weapons that I've I've brought back with me to study, and let's just say some weird things have started happening with them. Like some other weapons I found actually being cursed weapons that turn into dragons. I'll tell you about 4 of those some other time. But anyways, for the last one, this dragon lived in a somewhat resembles a library, and is actually a protector of someone. It's known as the Full Moon Monarch Dragon, or the Full Moon Monarch, by the residents of this place. The Full Moon Monarch is a rare true dragon. I actually encountered a lot of really, really big wyverns. Now, when I say these wyverns were huge, it's not an understatement. Like, they were utterly massive on how big they were. Like, I could barely... Not even my Master Black Dragon was about the same size as them. If anything, he was around 100 feet shorter or so. And his wingspan was quite dwarfed by him. But I actually managed to summon him this time around. And let's just say he utterly demolished that thing. And within a few hits later, the dragon was, how do you say, dead. And I actually found that it disappeared, and I had actually left behind a few things, like its actual bloody heart. Now, I went to sleep and woke back up, and I found that these dragons don't really come back. They do come back, but within some certain circumstances, like you burning their heart instead of actually offering it up on a specific pedestal around, you could literally bring them back. It reminds me of another dragon known as the Endergon. The Endergon was a full-on black dragon, but it was significantly weaker than some other dragons I've seen. But this was really, really far into my journey walking around, and I found that this dragon, for the record, the Full Moon Monarch, was weirdly not even the colors of a moon, but it was more of the colors of a, how do you say, an actual blue moon, so it was a pretty powerful dragon. And its tail was that of a magic orb. After killing the bloody thing, it being a protector dragon, it never can really truly die until the person dies. And the person is immortal. I managed to get its scepter. And during the fight, it actually summoned a human of sorts, some wolves, a giant, and an actual dragon. But they were like vestiges and like remains of a soul of the creature. But that's all the ones I could really translate from the tablet at the moment. That's all for today. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video, because I'm afraid that's all the time I got for today. But until next time, subscribe to John Sparker's Army or the Monster Alliance. Goodbye, and peace out, everyone.